G'day guys, how's it going? Welcome to the vlog. We're in the van, we're heading back to the Adelaide Casino. It's a Sunday afternoon. What's the time? About 10 past 5. I'm about 45 minutes away from getting a park in the city. Hopefully I can get one reasonably close to the casino, but it's probably very unlikely. It should be a good game there tonight. It's the first day of the Adelaide day-night test match cricket game. First time they've ever had a day-night in a test match. Test match just means it goes for 5 days. Could even be a draw after 5 days, so it's a bit of a stupid game, but usually they get the big crowds there for the one-day games. So this is the first day-night one, and that means there's going to be about 55,000 people at the Adelaide Oval at the cricket, and when it finishes at about 9 o'clock, we should get a fair amount of those guys heading back to the casino, so the casino should be packed. And if you've watched any of my other vlogs, you know that the casino is only about 400 metres from the Adelaide Oval, so we should get a few calling in. Poker room's got about 9 tables, so I'm suggesting by about 9 o'clock at night it should be all tables full, and hopefully a bit of action happening with a few blokes that maybe have had a few too many beers and maybe don't know what they're doing. That's usually when I end up bloody losing though. But we're going to get down there tonight, give it a crack. Adelaide Casino only opens at 7 o'clock at night. This is the poker room, and shuts at about 4 in the morning. So we're going to go in. If we get a good run, we might finish early, but we'll probably stay most of the night. Starting to piss down with rain now. So yeah, she's a wet old day here today. So usually I just play right through and don't get off the table because I don't want to miss any hands, but tonight I'm going to try and force myself off halfway through, give you guys a quick rundown on what's happening, how I'm going, and then get back into the action and finish the night off, and hopefully finish off with a win and sneak back through my favourite little alleyway back to Hindley Street where all the drunks will be, and go and have a kebab and then head off home. So we'll catch you guys later. G'day guys, yeah, I didn't have my half time bit of a rundown because I'm knocking off a little bit early. Been here, it's just after midnight. I've got something on tomorrow. I've had a really good run, probably one of my better runs. Things just were going right and got some nice hands there. So cashed in for $300. This was on the 2-2 game, and cashed out for $897. So that sounds like a profit of about $597 to me. So pretty happy with that. There's a bit of a look at my little chip stack down there. I don't know where that's going to come up. So we're all ready to go and cash it out, and we might go down the alleyway and have a kebab. Catch you later. G'day guys, how's it going? Got a few hand reviews here to do. With these, I'm going to try and talk a bit more about how my brain was thinking during some of these decisions. They could be good, they're probably bad. I'm going to keep using share my pair for now because my editing isn't good enough to work out how to do it properly another way or make it neat. What I have done with share my pair though is cut it down to just the players that were in the hand. It was actually a full ring game, so the table was full most of the night. But with share my pair, if I have everyone in there playing, it tends to clog it up and it looks a bit rough and a bit hard to read what's going on. So just have the players that were mainly in the pot. This was a bit of a soft game, not much raising or anything going on. Maybe a bit of my fault too. I was probably playing a little bit soft to start off with, but it seemed to be working. But yeah, not many raises before the flop. So in this first hand, I'm on the button. I end up getting dealt 10 of spades, 2 of spades. We get a fold. The hijack ends up calling. I just call, and the 2 blinds end up calling too. Probably a position where I probably should have raised with only one player in front of me, so that way we could have got rid of maybe a couple of blinds there and gone heads up. But I didn't because I probably played it completely wrong. So anyway, we end up getting a fairly handy flop here with trip 10s. It folds back around to me again. I end up betting $28. The blinds fold, the hijack ends up calling, and we get to see the turn. Turn comes up a 5 of diamonds, and I end up, gets checked to me, I end up betting 42, and all of a sudden the hijack goes all in. The cards are showing what he had, so at this stage we were not even. He was in front there, as you can see. Before I called, I had a bit of a think. I wasn't too sure what he had. I'm thinking he must have had a... I'm reading him for a higher pair, aces, kings, queens, jacks or something like that. Wasn't expecting him to turn over the 10. So at this stage, I'm not looking real good. But then all of a sudden, we get on the river a 5. So we end up splitting. As I'll show you later on, the 5s helped me out quite a lot in this session. So table's still pretty soft. It's still full ring game. Just not showing all the players, as I said before. Makes the share my pair look a bit overcrowded. So in this hand, the guy to my right, a bit of a recreational player, been making a few little mistakes. I get dealt a pair of 5s. He calls, I call, folds around to the blinds, they both call, and we get to see a flop. End up getting a pair of 10s and 4. It checks around to me again. I have a bit of a think. The 10s are sort of blocked, so it's good to see that. I'm thinking I'm probably leading, not too sure. So I end up betting $25. The 2 blinds end up folding, and the cutoff +1, he comes along for the ride for the call. Next card is a 7. He checks it again. This time I end up betting $35. He snap calls again, and we then get to see the river. River comes down a 5. Pretty good for me. As it was, he ends up betting $45, and I end up raising him all in. And as you can see here, he ended up slow playing trip 10s all the way like an idiot. So yeah, he probably could have got me out the hand if he had a bet a bit earlier. So this next hand, still a full ring game. I get caught with a new player in seat 9. He looked like he knew what he was doing. The hands he'd played, he was taking his time. He seemed to take about 30 seconds for every decision he did. Looked like he knew what he was doing, but I hadn't seen one of his hands. Most people had folded to him. He just looked like he knew what he was doing. With this hand, I end up getting dealt a pair of kings, and I don't know if I completely played it wrong or stuffed it up. Let me know if you've got any ideas. I raised it to 25. He called. Everyone else folds. The flop, nothing special. Doesn't help anyone, but I think I'm still leading. So this time I end up betting $40. He thinks again for 30 seconds, and he calls. Next card, we get a 5 of clubs. Again, I bet 40. He has a bit of a think, and this time he raises me all in. I went in the tank. I'm thinking, what's going on here? Whether he had aces, whether he had ace 8 suited, something like that, I'm not too sure. But after thinking for a while, and at this stage I'm about $300 up, I didn't feel like losing it all straight away. So it was probably a soft play by me, not too sure. I end up folding. A bit later on I did see a couple of his hands, and each time he had the goods, so I'm guessing he had me beat. If not, well, I still didn't lose the money. Might have played it completely wrong, not too sure, but yeah, if he outplayed me, he outplayed me. So this next hand, I'm in the cutoff, and I get dealt a pair of aces. I raise it straight away to $27. The low jack ends up calling. They fold around to the big blind, who also calls, and we get to see a flop. Not a bad flop for the pair of aces, nothing really there, maybe the flush draw or something like that, but big blind checks. I decided to bet 45. The low jack folds, big blind calls. Next card is a 4 of clubs. This time the big blind donk bets $45, so I'm a bit confused at this stage. I'm thinking, is he jammed 2 pair? I don't know whether he slow played queen 9, something like that. I'm thinking he's probably got 2 pair, but I had to keep playing with my aces, so I call. We then get the river, and it's a 2, doesn't help. He ends up checking, so I end up being a bit cautious here, and I just check 2, and as it is, he ends up turning over a queen, so my aces get up for a nice little pot. So in this hand, I run into the same guy as the hand before, the guy sitting to my right. He'd already been back to the automatic teller machine about 3 times. I've seen him in there a few times, but he only seems to come in with $100 or so. He had a bit of a run, but he knows what he's doing, but yeah, I wouldn't say a real good player. In this hand, I'm under the gun. I get a nice hand, ace of hearts, queen of hearts, so I put in a bit bigger raise than I've been doing all night. I go 35. Middle player calls, and the big blind also calls me mate to the right of me. Couple of hearts come down, so I'm deciding I'm going for it no matter what here. So I end up betting $48. Middle player folds, and the big blind calls again. Flop, no help to anyone, but I fire again. This time I get up to $65, and me mate to the right thinks for a little while, goes into the tank, and ends up folding. So I get a nice pot there, and he then says to me, lucky the flush didn't come down, and I then tell him that I had the ace. So if that heart had come down on the turn, I would have got the lot. So nice hand, but also a little bit unlucky there. But yeah, that ended a pretty good night. G'day guys, we're back on the Speedway grind. We're heading to Murray Bridge Speedway. It's only about 15 minutes from where we live, so nice short trip for this one. The mod lights are on, so great little track at Murray Bridge. I'll put a couple of videos up of it, and we'll see how we go tonight. Last time I put it on the vlog, had a bit of a rough night, but ended ended up getting third in the feature, so ended up pretty good for the night. Hopefully we can get back up there again tonight. It all depends on the number one driver over here. You all ready?
I think so.
So we'll get there and have a bit of fun. We'll catch you guys later.
Season. That was absolutely massive, Gil.
Yeah, it certainly was.
How's it going? Just knocking off work. It's about 1:30 in the morning, and I just want to finish off this little video here to finish off my vlog. Hopefully I can get that done early in the morning. Knocked off early because I've got training today. I'm doing a taxi class. So a good week for the poker. It was a good night to play the other Saturday when the cricket was on. It was a good table to get onto, and it looked like there was plenty of action through most of the poker room. So I had a good win there. At the end of the vlog you saw the Speedway with my son Sam. He okay night, not real good in the end, but came about 7th in the first heat. Second heat he started from the rear and got up to 3rd, so that was his best drive of the night. The feature race, which is the main race of the night, he got caught up in that rollover that you saw. It's probably one of the biggest rollovers I've seen in the class, with 2 cars going over and one of them doing a barrel roll of about 5 rollovers. With my son on the right hand side, you might be able to see the yellow car where he just sneaks through, but as he gets through he clips another car that had pulled up because the red light came on from all to stop, and he just bent a steering arm, so that put him out of the feature. But other than that, pretty good night. Always have fun with my son when we go to the racing. We've been doing it most of our lives. Back in the days, right from when he was 4 years old, and racing Pee-wee motorcycles. So we've been doing a lot of that together most of our lives. What else has happened? I had my first subscriber who recognised me at the Adelaide Casino. He didn't actually say hello because it ended up that his name's Peter Wilson, so hi to Peter. He was sitting next to my brother-in-law John on a different table, and when I left I said see you later to John, and evidently Peter sent me a message saying that he then asked John if that's the guy that does the poker vlogs, and I think John nearly fell off his seat that someone actually listened or watched my vlogs. So thanks for giving me that info, Peter. Hopefully we can catch up. Peter's a farmer over on York's Peninsula, so he doesn't get to the casino a real lot, a bit like me. So hopefully we can arrange to come over. As a bit of a joke, we did say we would organise a meet-up game, so it would be the smallest meet-up game in the history of poker vloggers, just the two of us. So we'll catch up with you sometime, Peter. What else happened? That's about it. A couple of the vloggers that I told you that I'd let you know that I follow. I've got a fair few that I follow when I'm doing nothing in the cab. Andrew Neeme and Brad Owens, check those guys out. Most of you guys would have all seen them before you saw my vlog, but there might be a couple of new guys that have just somehow snuck their way onto this site and they're newbies. Check out those two guys. They're both professionals, mid-state professionals in Vegas, and you can learn a lot off of their videos. And a quick shout out to Swiper Vlog, who is a young Sydney guy who does vlogs, obviously from Sydney, just a recreational player, puts out some good vlogs. Started about when I did, but for some reason he's got hundreds of subscribers, so that's why I'm giving him a plug, so that he can give mine a plug. That's the plan anyway. So Swiper Vlog, give me a bloody plug, okay? I think the reason he's got a lot more followers than me is because he looks about 25, 28 years of age, and good looking and fit, where, yeah, that's right, I'm old and fat. So, but we'll keep pushing along. We've got 32 subscribers now, pretty happy with that. It's not many, but I'm happy with it. Went up 7 this week. So tell your mates, tell your friends. I'm still aiming to try and get 50 by the end of January. So if you're first time on here, press that subscribe button. Let's get this channel going a little bit. And that's about it. They're going to get better. I'm learning all this myself, all the editing, so I'm hoping each one gets a little bit better as I go along. And that's about it. We'll catch you guys next time, and if I don't see you before, Merry Christmas.